Have you ever wondered if experience gain has a cap in Fallout 76? Do you know the rules or how it works exactly? If not, don't worry, you are about to find out. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. In this one we are going over the experience gain rules in Fallout 76. I will also answer trivial questions including if intelligence has a hard cap and if there are limits to how much experience gain buffs you can stack. These matters might sound basic, but there's hardly any information about it online. As such, I believe most of you are not aware of how it all works, and there's plenty of rules as well. So without any further delays, let's get into what matters. Let me show you my tests and my conclusions. Does experience gain a cap at all? That's the entire point of this video, but sadly the answer is not simple. I would say yes and no at the same time because the system is not black or white. Instead, it consists of multiple shades of gray. There are many rules and together they form a system that doesn't really have a cap for experience gain, but it does at the same time. Again, you can get as much experience as you possibly want, however, there are several limitations to the amount of experience you can earn per kill, per event, per mission, and even the number of boost stacks you can have. It's something like a rule inside a rule, but I will try my best to explain everything one topic at a time so you can understand what I mean. In theory, experience gain does cap, as in there are limitations to how much you can earn at a time, but in practical means it does not cap because again you still can get as much experience as you want by just farming experience sources, or in other words, by playing the game. So let's move on to enemies, which is the main source for experience in Fallout 76. Alright, first of all, don't get deceived with the experience gain bar because it can stack and sum up the total experience you just earned from different sources. Let's say you hit 5 enemies and they all die at the same time, then the experience gain will show as a whole, as one single stack. You can earn thousands of experience at once this way, for the simple fact that the system sums up all the experience from multiple sources and displays a single number. This doesn't mean you get 3k or 5k from one single kill, most of the time at least, because there is an enemy or a kill experience cap. You can get a maximum of 4,000 experience per kill from any enemy in the game, including bosses like the Scorched Beast Queen. No matter how many experience or intelligence buffs you have, you can never get more than 4,000 experience per enemy kill. That's the rule and that's the first experience limitation. But there's more, so let's jump into the next point. I think Bethesda implemented such rules to prevent cheaters from leveling up way too fast and getting thousands of levels because if there were no caps, people would be able to get thousands and thousands of experience from one single kill or one completed event. That would be insane, right? Anyway, there is also an experience gain cap for events and quests. No matter how much experience gain buffs you have on yourself, you can't go past 6,000 experience per completed event or mission. It can be difficult to test this out because normally you are killing enemies while finishing the event and then the total experience earning can show up together and you can't see the exact experience you got from the event alone. However, I did test this several times and as you can see, I could never earn more than 6,000 per event or mission. That's the second rule and limitation to experience gain. What about intelligence? In case you don't know yet, each intelligence point gives you around 2% experience gain, and you can boost this attribute as much as you can to get increased experience gain and level up much faster. Still, the question remains, is there a cap for intelligence? Yes and no. As I said on the first point, it's not that simple with this topic, but let me explain. In theory, the cap for every attribute is at 100. However, it is not possible to reach 100 stats the legit way. So yes, the cap exists, but since nobody can get there unless they are cheating, it's like it doesn't exist at all, if you get what I mean. In practical means, you can get as much intelligence as you want or can, considering the legit methods are fairly limited. I have managed to stretch my intelligence to 48 points, as you can see, and I am getting extra experience gain at this point. There are also reports of players going past 50 intelligence and receiving the experience bonus, which highly indicates the hard cap is most likely at 100, unlike some other attributes which have a hard cap at lower numbers for certain bonus. Now that we sorted out the basic rules, it's time to go over the experience gain boosts. What are the rules here? Well, let me warn you, it's also complicated. Let's start with cams. You can basically only have one cam active at a time, probably because their duration is really short and it would be really overpowered if you could stack multiple cams at once. I tried, and as you can see, it doesn't work. The latest cam is the one that always remains in the effects tab, replacing the previous consumed one. Now, it's pretty much the same logic for alcoholic drinks. The general rule dictates that the latest consumed alcoholic drink is the one that prevails. But that changes when it comes to soft drinks and juices. You can stack them up as long as they are boosting different attributes. Alcoholic drinks can stack with soft drinks and foods. Now, moving to foods, the rule is identical. You can stack as many foods as you want, as long as they boost different things, that is. If you use any food for the same attribute, only the last consumed food will show up under effects. If the food or soft drink has several buffs, you can keep the buff that is not stacking up with other foods. In here, for example, my lemonade lost the HP boost because the tattoo juice has a better buff, so I got to keep the stamina buff from the lemonade but lost the inferior HP buff. When it comes to HP gain specifically, both foods and drinks share the same stackable slot, which means you can only have one food or one drink that boosts your HP gain active at a time. As you can see here, I used the Nuka-Cola Cranberry with 2% experience gain, and then the Cranberry Cobbler, which gives me 12% HP gain. The latest takes over the Nuka-Cola as obvious. In this case, only the latest consumed item of the same category will remain active, just like it works with cams. I bet you were unaware of most of these rules, and trust me, it's really helpful to manage your buffs and save resources while maximizing your profits. In this case, stacking up as many boosts as possible. Okay, so there are a few more rules when it comes to experience gain. For instance, the rested or well-rested buff can be obtained by sleeping in any bed in-game, of course. And even though it prevails if you relog, server jump, or get revived when you are down, it does not prevail when you die. So this means every time you go down, you need to sleep again in order to unlock that 5% experience gain for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, depending on the variation. Things get much worse when it comes to the rare Wise Man Enlightenment buff. You can get it by commuting with the creature after the Path of Enlightenment event. It lasts for 1 hour and it gives you a 5% experience buff that stacks with pretty much all the other buffs in game. However, you can easily lose it. Server jumping, disconnecting, relogging, even dying will erase the buff from your effects tab What a shame, hmm? Lastly, we have Bubbleheads, which have a different rule than the previous two buffs. Bubbleheads have a persistent buff and they can endure basically anything. Just like foods, they will remain active even if you die or change servers. So don't worry about using your Bubbleheads because you can enjoy their buffs for 1 entire hour and you can't really lose it, so that's great. In the end, there are several experience gain caps, but none of them really affects your grinding too much. You can still kill as many enemies and complete as many events as you want. Sure, you can't earn more than 6k experience per event or 4k per kill, but let's be honest here, the amount of enemies that can give you more than 4k are very few, such as high-level Deathclaws or Scorched Beasts. The average high-level enemy can't even reach 2k per kill with triple experience on, so you are more than safe. Also, there are not too many events that award you that much experience besides Scorched Earth and a few high-level daily quests. I would say the hardest cap or limitation in the system is all the extensive consumable rules, which prevent you from stacking different items to boost the same attribute. You would be able to get so much more experience gain if this rule wasn't there, since we have so many different foods and drinks that can boost experience gain. Well, at least intelligence is out of reach when it comes to its hard cap, so that's always a plus. Despite all of these small limitations, none of them is unbalanced or unfair in my view, and the system allows you to farm and get as much experience as you want, pretty much. So yes, there are experience gain limitations, but they can hardly influence the amount of experience you can earn, and that's an amazing thing to have. Don't you agree? There are several rules in Fallout 76 experience gain system, and I hope I was able to provide some enlightenment to you regarding this topic. I know there's a lot to acknowledge and the system is not exactly simple. There's a lot of rules inside rules and that can be confusing for some people. I do understand that. Anyway, I think I answered all the essential questions regarding experience gain caps, buff rules, and related topics. I am Marta Branco, thank you so much for watching. Do let me know if I missed anything or if something is not exactly correct in this video. Feedback is always welcome. Now feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And don't forget, you can support me even further by becoming a patron or a member. The links are always below the video. Now I will see you all very soon in the next one. Until then, take care, adios, bye bye!